And we're live. We're recording.
Hi, Anushka.
Hi. Hi. Great, great. So glad to connect with you and so happy
Yes,
that we're doing this. Yes.
finally. I know I've been trying to get in contact with you so we could put some stuff together for everybody that kind of is in our world, and we help both professionally and we're connected to personally. So this is
Absolutely.
awesome. I'm so grateful to do this work with you.
Same. Thank you so much for having this idea. And, I know it's going to make a big difference for people. Absolutely.
Yes, I certainly hope so. That's definitely both of our intentions right now. So how are you doing?
Overall, I'm keeping optimistic. And, for me, I feel like I'm taking things moment by moment and just surrendering to what's happening because we really don't have control over this right now. So that's what I've been
Right.
doing and inspiring where I can,
Right.
and yeah. What about yourself?
Well, we're walking around a lot. I have this little guy, Toby, who is keeping me busy, and we're, walking quite a bit and trying to get out a little bit more often, walk around the neighborhood, come back, talk to my family, talk to my friends, try to do it more on a video chat rather than a regular phone call, of course.
Yes.
And just as much as I possibly can, keep a routine and work, as well as relax and do some things that I really don't on a normal basis have the time to do, like read a few books that would have been nice to have time to read. Now I have all the time in the world to read them.
Yeah, we've been given the gift of time, is what I keep saying.
We have been given the gift of time. This is so true. I mean, in our wildest imagination, we would never just take a week off to stay at home and work from home and let's just see, how it goes. So this has been quite a gift. You're right.
Yeah.
So, so anyways, as we talked about this, we decided to do this, once a day. We would post something on a different topic, just
Mhm.
again to reach out to help as best as we can. And I thought that today we would talk about social connection and really the importance of social connection for our being as humans that I feel that we're so deprived of right now. Um, and how do you really stay still socially connected to others in isolation, in a sense, right?
Mhm.
um, I know one of the things that I started to naturally do as I take my walks around the neighborhood with Toby is I make eye contact with people. I say hello. I ask people how they're doing. And Toby's quite the celebrity dog in my neighborhood. So some people know Toby, but they don't know who I am, and I'm like, I'm going to connect with you. And
Awesome.
that's social connection, at least on some level, that we can kind of bring that emotion and fulfill that emotion, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So those
Yeah.
are small things that I'm doing other than being connected, through video chats and telephone calls and such.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting with this whole social distancing. It's really made me realize how grateful I am for being connected and how much we take it for granted. Even before, now we're on major lockdown, but before we were, when I was still going to the gym or playing volleyball, we weren't high-fiving, we weren't hugging, and I felt like such a big missing for me.
Hmm.
So it's like the most we can do right now, which I think is amazing. You're already doing the talking with the neighbors, keeping the 6 foot distance, right? But at least there's still connection. And so one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of in different communities is people doing these happy hours where they're, getting a bunch of their friends together, and having a certain time set so they can all just be on the Zoom or be on a, Facebook Messenger video or something where they're actually spending time together and seeing each other, because seeing one another is a completely different feeling than just being on the phone.
That's
It's
right.
at least a much better connection than, not seeing each other at all, right? Even though we
Right.
can't touch each other or hug each other. But yeah, and I know with the whole happy hour thing and just people being bored and at home, I mean, there is probably a little bit more the alcohol use, which I would love for you being in, you know, as Samar is an addictionologist, and I would love for you to share a little bit more about what alcohol can do during this time.
Right. Well, I'm trying to stay extremely positive during these times, even though as a human, I get anxious too, and uncertain times makes us feel very uncomfortable. So I'm certainly experiencing this as well. And as a mental health professional, I think sometimes we take it for granted that people are experiencing a lot of anxiety during these times, right? So one of the things alcohol does, I call it the tricky, drug, because at the moment where you're consuming it and enjoying it, it makes you feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the day after, mostly if you are experiencing quite a bit of anxiety and you are anxious and you are overwhelmed, it actually makes it a lot worse. So then we have a tendency to want to drink more, and then we get stuck in this cycle,
Mm-hmm.
right? So my suggestion is, I mean, if you can stay off the booze, stay off the booze. It's better, not to drink our emotions away during such difficult times or challenging times that we're faced with right now,
Yeah.
rather than drinking them away. I've been very conscious of watching social media, and it seems like every picture that's posted, there's like a glass of wine or a beer or a soft drink, or some sort of a drink. I'm just, like, oh my God, like this is going to pick up after this, is over.
Yeah.
But,
and I feel like it is okay to like a minute. Like I don't personally drink anymore. Yeah, and if I do, it's maybe a sip or two. But it's like that overconsumption to, like you said, like filling that void and having it be this temporary, relief, which I also believe a lot of people are doing with food, right? Comforting themselves. So that's like another addiction, I would assume, right?
Right. So I think, when you and I spoke a little bit before, to be conscious, to be present, to be okay with just kind of sitting down, being present and saying, you know what, it's okay. I just don't feel very good right now. And that's okay. And these are feelings, and feelings pass. And feelings don't stick around. If you sit with it, and if you can be patient with it, and if you can identify where it is in your body and breathe through it, obviously it passes. And for the ones of us who've done that work, we realize that it does, right? And for people who are actually experiencing a lot of anxiety and they're not able to sit through it, and they're not able to get rid of it, and it's becoming prolonged, clearly, they need to seek medical help, and either choose to go down the route of medication or intensive therapy to deal with it, right? So we're just kind of talking about some underlying anxiety and how do we really deal with it. So my suggestion is, probably alcohol isn't the best way of dealing with it.
Yeah. And so back to like just, more of that social connection and whatnot, since we have so much of the social distancing. Another thing that I have been seeing a lot is those that are working from home, right? They're so used to being in an office with a bunch of people, and now it's like some of them are, live by themselves. They don't even have a pet or anything, right? So what I would probably recommend in those cases is, instead of having these, phone conference calls, why not make a video conference call? Because you still get that connection on a different level when you actually see one another. I mean, energy, still is energy. And yes, you can hear one's voice, but it's like on another level when you get to see each other like we do right now. I feel like this would be a completely different conversation if it was on the phone, and it would feel more distant, right? I get to see your facial expressions. You get to see my facial expressions, right? And so to me, that's also really
Right. Absolutely. It's completely a different feeling. Not the same as complete face-to-face human, connection, face-to-face, but it is so much more powerful than just a phone conversation, audio conversation, I guess, right?
Yep.
So the other thing that we talked about really quickly is creating some challenges, because a lot, we're bored. So we get all these great organizations that are telling us,
there we go. You're back.
am I okay? Sorry
Yep.
about that. We get these great organizations that are telling us, stay active, exercise, do what you need to do. And we recognize that that's a few hours out of the day, and we still have like another 10 to 12 hours of awake time, right? So what do we do? How do we get creative? So one of the things that you and I talked about, and we brainstormed, was to do challenges, to do game times, like do a kindness challenge. Be kind to each other for half a day. Come up with ideas of sharing a quote of a day, for example. Things that make you come outside of your normal space of mind and do something different that actually also consumes time. Read books that you've been wanting to read and you haven't had the chance to read.
Or haven't finished and have been sitting there halfway done, right? I have a lot of those.
I have a lot of those too. 44 pages in, and that was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And alongside that, I know we were talking about cooking, right? Cooking,
yes.
And especially right now, being that like restaurants here are completely closed. I don't know about where you're at, but here they're completely closed. And either the few that are open, I personally don't want to go there. I don't want to, have that. I don't know who's cooking it. I don't know what's been, touched, what's been not touched. So I think this is a great time. There's so many recipes, easy recipes to follow these days, thanks to technology. That it would be an awesome thing to take on with your friends, just to say, okay, like, let's do a challenge, a day. Maybe a group of friends are like, we're all gonna make, I don't know, like zoodles and lasagna, like zoodle lasagna, I don't know, something, right? Like some kind of a healthy dish, because I think that's also important for us right now in boosting our immune system.
Right.
And
sharing that. Sharing that.
Exactly.
Experience, while they're solitary experiences, but we can share them as a group.
Yeah.
So, Anushka, I know that you do Reiki.
Yes.
And I am now, just right now is just thinking, what, I would love for you to do some Reiki with my office staff. Obviously, that I operate out of a medical office, and our staff they've been so amazing at working, and they've been so brave. Obviously I'm working from home, but they're all, at the office. And I'm going to talk about this with the head of our practice, and hopefully, we can get you online and for you to do some energy Reiki work with us
absolutely,
to feel better and start to vibrate that positive energy and healing energy. And who could really use this than our frontliners right now, our medical community, who are helping, our communities get through this pandemic. So
absolutely.
So I'm excited about that. I'm really
I am too, definitely. Yeah, we'll have to, we'll be having more of these anyhow, one a day, right?
Yes.
So I think this was a great start, and these are just some things that we shared. And so any suggestions that anyone else has out there for anything that they are thinking of, where they're stuck in, where this is just so like abnormal for them, and they're like, I don't know what to do with my life, I need some kind of a routine, just please let us know. Put it in the comments, email us. I personally am an empowerment health coach and healer, and this is what I do for a living. I know Samar is an amazing, and I'll have her, give her own self-introduction, but she's absolutely amazing and such a beautiful heart as well. So would love for you to say more about what you do.
So, I'm an addictionologist and obviously dual diagnosis clinician. So most of my work is with people who are faced with substance use disorder, but then of course anxiety and depression, and how that stuff kind of sometimes leads us to, substance use. So that's what I do. I, like yourself, I think we're on the same line, as I do pay close attention to energy healing, and that our bodies are so intelligent and we can tap into the system to heal itself. So that's, that's where you and I kind of, are on the same line. Your work, of course, goes a lot more in depth than my work goes in that sense. So I'm so excited to do this with you, because I know I'm going to learn right along.
Same, absolutely. Same. I love this collaboration. I know it's been coming, right? I feel like we chatted several months ago, and now we're virtual.
There we go. That's right.
Love it. Awesome. So yeah, and then lastly, what we'd love to do is actually have a 1 hour open session. Yes.
Yeah.
So on Friday, and we're planning on doing that at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, right? For an hour, for anybody that would like to join us, we'll definitely include the Zoom link for that. And so that way, anybody's welcome to come. It'll be, a safe space for you to be with us. So yes, thank you.
Right.
So much.
So for all of the viewers, feel free to share our information, the videos. Please, we're doing this in kind to help our communities as best as we can. So we look forward to seeing you guys on that chat, and we really look forward to hearing your comments so that you can help us lead our our following conversations with you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening.